Hello, Friliqui here. So, I've been playing Apex Legends since launch, kind of by accident. I saw it on the Origin page. It looked interesting, loaded it up, and started playing it. And I have to say, it's a really good, addicting game. It's essentially a three-man battle royale with lots of room to grow. And EA has already laid out their intentions to add more content to the game. And we're not just talking skins, but maps, legends, or heroes, whatever you want to call them, and also game modes. But of course, that's what they intend to do because that's how they both will monetize on the game and hope to keep their currently large audience hooked. Now, I have no problem with microtransactions so long as the base game is free, but EA always worries me to how far they're willing to go in implementing these monetization strategies in their game. Honestly, I feel that if they could get away with it, they would sell different skins for the ammunition and different colors. For example, they might sell you a blue neon color by the ounce and just watch you as you bleed out blue neon color after paying $5 for it. Anyway, I only briefly played Fortnite. It really just never hooked me, and PUBG was, let's just say, too raw of an experience for me. Apex, however, presents this really polished, excellently refined experience. Now, that being said, the game still has its technical issues. There were a few occasions where I died and my squad mates weren't able to locate my banner because it had completely disappeared. And yes, I had taken into account the possibility of it disappearing simply based on the game's mechanics. A few times on the loading screen, I would have to shut down the game and load it back up again because it wouldn't let me move from the teammates are ready screen, or it would just keep saying teammates are ready even though I wasn't playing with any teammates. So that was odd. Then there was also the time where I simply couldn't exit the game because it just wouldn't let me shut down. I had to force quit it and go back into it and see if it would work then. That being said, these are obviously small inconveniences, but nothing major that would warrant any condemnation of the game in terms of technical aspects. However, there is a bit of a gripe I have with the game. As a three-player battle royale, you really are dependent on teamwork and the ability to coordinate and cooperate with your squad. Oftentimes, I would be stuck playing with people that simply went rogue and I had to chase them down just to make sure I could cover them. Or people that simply refuse to coordinate at all. I understand it's pretty much something any game that requires teamwork is going to have to face, but if you're playing with randos because your friend's in Korea and they can't play, because the monetization strategies used by EA need to be approved, then it's pretty much a shot in the dark on who you're going to play with. Graphically, the game is impressive. I mean, it's not mind blowing. It's pretty much what you would expect from big time publisher like EA. I mean, if there's one thing that their games can't really be faulted on, it's their graphical presentation. I suppose you could bring up Andromeda and the crazy little eyes in other instances, but overall, they can't really be faulted on their graphical presentation. The audio, however, does get a little repetitive. I mean, it's a single track for the background music, but the characters or legends are interesting. I mean, they even got Maui from Moana on the regular roster, which I thought was pretty cool. They even got his little hook in there. So you start out with two locked characters, Mirage and Dr. Gassy Gas, and so far, I would say the progress towards unlocking them without purchasing them is reasonable so far. I mean, you never know what EA intends to do with the progress after that Battlefield debacle. I have no idea about the story. I mean, I've been reading it's set in the Titanfall universe, but I don't really care for Titanfall lore. But I don't think it takes away from the game being enjoyable in the slice in the slightest. Oh, and there was I think recently an article on PC Gamer about how great the ping system is, and yeah, it's pretty good. It allows for fluid communication. Short of communicating through mic, it's about as good as I've seen in any multiplayer game. In terms of gameplay, well, that's where the game really shines. Three-player squad, land on an island, look for loot to upgrade your weapons and body armor to add to your defense. The ring closes around you, and eventually whoever didn't die during the initial stages is forced to meet in a very small center. It's simple, it works, it's fun, it's kind of been seen before, but nevertheless still works. The weapons are balanced and varied enough that you can easily be tempted to try another one, even if you're a sniper kind of guy. And of course, certain weapons match certain legends better. The legends each have their own unique abilities that allow for a variety of playstyles, and how weapons and powers are used in concert with one another allows for a very interesting dynamic experience each time you drop in. That is to say, I've seen one of the legends be played as a close combat tank, and that's very same legend played as a deadly
I got
sniper.
one. You got one?
So that's about the gist of it. Since it's a free-to-play game, it's a game that just about anyone could try out. The graphical limitations might hit some people, but beyond that hurdle, not much in terms of barriers to entry. Obviously, it's a battle royale, first-person shooter, twitchiness, and all those, complaints or remarks about first-person shooters go into play. The only lingering complaint for me that I have to mention is one that I have about every battle royale, in that I'm feeling a little tired by doing the same thing. I mean, you drop in, look for loot, kill other squads, and that's the game. Maybe the additional content released later would make me more enthused to play the game, but as of now, I would honestly say I am maybe a day or two away from just feeling the fatigue and calling it. Rating the game, I would say it's a rare enough experience that you won't find anywhere else as packaged, but it's not some legendary experience that you have to lock down a weekend just to play, nor is it any kind of life-altering kind of experience that, say, someone who exclusively plays games like CRPGs will all of a sudden say, forget CRPGs, it's all about Apex. So, basically, I'm not as high on it as many people around the net seem to be, but still, I'll give credit where credit's due and say it's one really interesting, fun experience and an increasingly bloated Battle Royale market. That wraps it up for me. Until next time.